Hello, good morning dear student. Now we are going to start the business studies, the class 11th, and the topic is sources of business finance. Okay, so now this is a new topic. So now I'm going to start the sources of business finance, for which you should know that what is the business and what is the finance. Now let's see the topic. Now dear student of Sunbeam School CBSE, the class 11, we are starting subject BS2 and topic is sources of business finance. So first of all, we need to know about the what is business and what is finance. Then the term what is business finance. See dear, the what is business? Everyone knows about the business. What is business? And the finance also known everyone. But here the term what is business finance? So before going to start the business finance, we need to learn about the finance. See, in a common sense, if I say that everyone knows about finance. Finance basically means the money. Finance means money. Okay student, finance means money. Finance पैसा होता है. When we start any business, so we always need finance. Without finance, we can't start a business. So finance is a very important role for starting any business activities. So now start. See, first of all, in generally, what we say about the business finance. See the intro of business finance. Okay. See, the money, basically I want to just explain you orally, the money required for carrying out any business activities is called the business finance. Okay, so this is a very simple words. Money required for carrying out business activities is called a business finance, and I'm giving you here. Money required for carrying out business activities is called business finance. Okay, so this is the meaning of a business finance. So this is a very simple meaning, and you can just go through once again. Money required for carrying out business activities is called business finance. मतलब बिजनेस एक्टिविटीज को स्टार्ट करने के लिए हमें जो पैसे की रिक्वायरमेंट होती है, दैट इज कॉल्ड एज अ बिजनेस फाइनेंस डियर. सो दिस इज अ वेरी सिंपल मीनिंग ऑफ अ बिजनेस फाइनेंस. नाउ इफ यू गो थ्रू there are someone who has given the definition of a business finance is, see here, according to your books of a textbook of your school, business finance. See here, according to B.O. Wheeler, is a person who has defined the meaning of business finance in their own words. The definition is finance is that business activity which is concerned with the acquisition and conservation of capital funds in meeting the financial needs, meeting the financial needs and overall objectives of a business enterprise, Okay, so this is according to the BO Villa. What is a business finance? Got it? See, the finance is that business activity which is concerned with or which is connected with the acquisition. You know what is acquisition? Means getting or raising, and conservation of capital funds. And conservation means which you kept in meeting the financial needs. Like आपने जो पैसे रेस किया है उस पैसे को हम कहाँ पे रखेंगे और कहाँ पे यूज करेंगे कि हमारी जो फाइनेंशियल रिक्वायरमेंट्स है वो यहाँ पे पूरा होना चाहिए, एंड विद दैट एंड ओवरऑल ऑब्जेक्टिव्स ऑफ अ बिजनेस एंटरप्राइज, और बिजनेस की जो ऑब्जेक्टिव्स हैं वो ओवरऑल यहाँ पे अचीव होनी चाहिए. सो दिस इज अकॉर्डिंग टू द BO Villa, एंड दिस इज इन अ कॉमनली वी can write this meaning of a business finance, and this is the defined by BO Villa, which you have to write as according to BO Villa only and not according to yourself. Okay, now let's see the some of the features of business finance. What are the contents of business finance and what are the nature of a business finance? So students, now first of all I am just going to the oral explanation in the features of a business finance. Now everyone knows that just as a human being is running, walking and doing each and everything because of the blood circulation in the body. As the blood is a very important role in the human body. So just like that, the business also needs a finance. So here we can say that the blood of a business is the finance. If no finance in the business, then your business will automatically stop. Your business will be wind up if there is no input of finance in the business. So the finance is the life blood of a modern business. अगर आप बिजनेस में पैसे इन्वेस्ट नहीं करोगे, then you cannot run your business. So that's why we say that the finance is the life blood of business, or we can say in a modern business. Then the business finance there also involves, there is an estimation of how much funds you are required, and it also needs from which sources we get all the funds. So these two things are important. First thing, the business finance involves the estimation of funds, and with the estimation there is also including the sources of finance. आपको पैसे तो मिल जाएंगे, but what we have to do with that money? So the sources, as well as we also find out the areas in which we are going to make investment. Okay, now so there is two types of capital also needed, like a fixed capital and working capital. Now I will explain you here. See, this is also a separate topic of a fixed capital and working capital, which will be in come the after later. Then there is also an important thing is that the sufficient finance is very important for carrying out the business activities. And see, the funds is totally different from one business to another business. Okay. Now here, just going here, and after that I will show you in your books, say the nature, or we can say the features of business finance. Features of business finance. See, there are many more features. Number one, finance is the lifeblood. What? Lifeblood of modern business. Now just I am here giving you the keywords, and the full explanation is in your books. So you can go through with your books, and if you any doubts, then you can ask in your classroom. See, the finance is the lifeblood of a modern business. If no finance in the business, then business will be stopped. The second thing, it involves the estimation of funds. It involves the estimation of funds required, okay, or we can write needed. See, and with this, the sources, like here, sources of funds and investment of finance, also very important, and the investment areas, or we can write investment of finance. Now the next thing is, it includes both the fixed capital, or we can say the fixed fund, as well as the working capital. Okay, both capital we needed. Now I will explain what is fixed and what is working capital. See, the fixed capital means the capital which are fixed in nature, that is for a long time, or we can say the long term capital. Here the working capital means the capital which is required for the business for day-to-day working of a business organization, or we can say that the capital which is required for running the business activities for day-to-day, that is called as a working capital. Got it? So the fixed capital means the investment in a long-term asset for a longer duration, and the finance through the long-term source of capital, and which cannot be reversible without incurring heavy losses. So this is a fixed capital. And working capital means the capital which is needed for a day-to-day working of an enterprises, that is called a working capital. Okay. Now the next thing is that, see, the amount of capital is not same for all kind of business. If a business is at a small level, so you need a less amount of business finance. If at a medium level, then the little more than the small, and if at a large level, so you need a big amount of business finance. Okay, so it differs from the business to business. See here. Now, right here, business finance required differ from business to business. Okay, differ from business to business, differ from one time to another time. We can write here B2B is just short form business to business, and from one time period to another time period. So TP stands for time period. Okay, now I will go through your books in detail, but before going with your books, so these are just for your doubts, and I can say that this is your summary. Okay, now next thing is that, see, this is the base of every business activities. See, the business finance is the foundation, we can say, Finance is the foundation, or we can say the base foundation for of various business activities. You know which kind of activities, like purchasing materials, production, marketing, like advertising and all this thing. Okay, for various activities. So there are many activities in the business. As a, if you're a business person, then you are most very well aware about that, what are the things required. And the sufficient funds, the main thing is that if you need a 10 lakhs, so there will be a 10 lakhs, not 5 lakhs. If any business enterprises required 20 lakhs, but that company having a capital of 10 lakhs, so that business can't be run. Okay, so that's why here the one more point is the sufficient finance is important. Okay, what? Sufficient finance. So sufficient finance is very important. Okay, so now, so this is a business finance, the features of a business finance. This is a intro regarding the business finance. This is the definition according to Bio-Wheeler, and this is the features of business finance. Got it? So these are very important thing. Now these features I will go through with your textbooks of page number 216. See, let's see. See dear, see the nature of business finance. Okay, the essential features of every business finance are as follows. See the first one, look here at the first one. Finance is what? See, finance is the lifeblood of a modern business. Okay, it is required in all types of business activities, whether the large or small, or a trading activities or a manufacturing activities. Okay, see, but this one given in a paragraph form, but here we have to write in a point form. Okay, so first of all we will write the lifeblood of a modern business, or we can say the blood of a modern business. Then we have to mention that the finance is the lifeblood of modern business, and it is required in all types of business activities, whether the business activities is at a large level, small level, or trading activities, whether it is a manufacturing. Now the second one, the business finance involves the estimation of funds required. So the next one will be the funds. Business finance involves the estimation of funds required and also includes the source of fund as well as the investment of funds. Means आपको पैसे कहाँ से लेके आना है and आपको पैसे कहाँ पे investment करना है. Then from where you are getting, that is the sources of fund, and in which areas you are going to invest, that is the investment of finance. The third one, it includes both the fixed and the working capital required for the business. As a previously just I have explained you that what is fixed and what is working. Once again I am going to explain. The fixed capital are those capital which is for a longer duration, and the investment in long-term assets. And here the finance through the long-term source of capital, and that is not reversible without incurring heavy losses. So that is the fixed capital, like a plant and machinery, buildings, land. These are a fixed capital. And the working capital is what? Working capital are those capital which is required for day-to-day business activities. Like आपको daily business activities के लिए, for example, if there is any construction business, so वहाँ पे daily wages हमें pay करना होता है workers को, या weekly pay करना होता है. So for that concern, we need some cash, and that is a working capital. Okay, that is up to the 1 year only. There is just a problem 1 year. Then after that, everything go on in a flow way. Next one, the availability of sufficient finance is essential for carrying out the business operations. See, अब example मैंने आपको यहाँ पे दिया था कि if we needed a 10 lakhs, but if we have just a 5 lakhs, so we can't run a business. Okay, so the availability of finance is very important, and that must be sufficient finance. That means how much we needed, that much I want. Okay, next one, the amount of funds required differ from one business to another business. Like if we are doing a trading business, so that is some other thing. If there is any service activity, then that is any other thing. See, whether your business is at a large level or small level, the amount is also different from if you need it for business or the finance at a small scale. Okay, अगर आप एक छोटे लेवल पे अगर बिजनेस करते हो, so you need a small fund. But if you are running a big shop or at a large scale business, so you needed a large amount of fund. Okay, so the amount of fund, the amount of capital, and the amount of finance is differ from one business to another, and from the one time period to another time period. Now, next thing, the finance is the base, or we can say the foundation of a various business activities. See, what are the business activities? Business activities means the buying of raw material, the making a goods, the produce, that is the production activities, and the marketing and the selling. All this thing is a business activities. So for doing that business activity, we need a finance. So without the finance, we cannot go through with them. So that's why we say that the finance is the foundation of a various business activities such as a purchasing, production, and a marketing. Okay, dear. So this is a very important features of a business finance. So now just go through once with your book. Then if you have any doubt, then you can ask. Now, dear student, we are just going with the second question, that is the sources of business finance. Okay, sources of business finance. See, dear, the business finance is differ from business to business, that we have already studied in the last question. Differ from business to business. Now, I am just taking an example of a two business. Okay. For example, here if we are doing a business at a small level, or we can say here the sole trading concern, or we can write here sole tradership, and the second one is a partnership. Okay, this is a partnership firm. Now, see, the sole trading concern means what? Sole trading concern means the business which is run through a single person, and that himself the owner of a business, manager of the business, leader of the business, director of the business, the each and everything. Okay, the sole, that is also known as a sole proprietorship. What? Sole proprietorship business. Okay, now this is the one thing, and this secondly is a companies. If we talk about the companies, okay, in case of companies. Now, these two terms are totally different. The finance needed in these two terms are totally different. See, the sole trading concern or the sole proprietorship, the example is like, say, a person running there a pan bidi shop, any tea stall, samosa vada pav businesses. Okay, So this is the sole trading at a small level and at a local areas. Now the partnership form, when two person or more, the two or more person comes together and working with the common objectives, that's a partnership firm. Okay, and the company is with a large people. It comprises of a large number of membership. Okay, see, if a sole trading concern or a partnership firm requires a capital, so they first of all uses their own capital. मतलब अगर यहाँ पे सोल ट्रेडर को या किसी भी पार्टनर्स को अगर पैसे की जरूरत होगी, देन फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल दे इन्वेस्ट देयर ओन मनी. व्हाट? ओन मनी. ओके, पहले वो अपना खुद का पैसा बिजनेस में इन्वेस्ट कर देते हैं. इफ दे नीडेड मच मोर देन देयर ओन मनी, अगर उन्हें लगता है कि हमें कुछ और भी पैसे की रिक्वायरमेंट है, बट दे डोंट हैव, देन they borrow from their friend circle, their friends, and we can say with the relatives, and even they are not getting enough, then they approach to the banks, and that is a commercial bank. Okay, that is commercial banks. Got it? So this is a source of finance for the sole trading concern or a sole proprietorship business, or we can say to the partnership firm. If they needed capital, they first of all they invest their own money, then they approach to their friends, relatives, and even not getting a sufficient, then they finally approach to the commercial banks. But if doing as a companies, if you are running a company, so here the company never goes to their friends, relatives, or even the commercial bank is okay, because the commercial bank is the bank which provides the loans and all this thing to the companies, and in the sole trading concern partnership firm to anyone, okay, because they charge their interest. So here going to explain, if in case of companies, if company requires funds, so they borrow the funds in three forms. Number one, first of all, they prefer a long-term loan. Which kind of loan? Long-term loan. See how they can raise their funds. Number one, they issues their shares in the market. They issues their debentures. Then some amount of reserves, their last profits, retained earning, and after that they goes to the financial institutions. Okay, so these are some of the long-term sources of companies in case of borrowing, if they needed funds. So these are some of the sources of a business finance in case of companies. Now, if they required for a medium term, for little much lesser than the long term period, so they also issue the debentures with a shorter duration. The demands for public deposits, they also approach to the commercial banks for lesser duration, and some of the lease financing. Okay, so these are the loans for a medium term which company borrow. Now, and the last one finally, for the short duration. we can say the short term. Now, they also prefer the short term capital goes to the commercial banks, then some trade credit, and the advance from the customer. Okay, they take advance money, advance from customers, and the CPs, that is known as a commercial paper. Commercial paper having some maturity period. Now, in the next session we will go in detail about all this thing, but this is a common thing which we should know, that the source of business finance here, the sole trading concern, the sole proprietorship, and the partnership firm. So if they needed the funds, so first of all they invest their own money, and if not sufficient, so they borrow from their friends, relatives, and even not sufficient, then goes to the commercial bank. But in case of companies, the company needed fund at a 3 level, for short term, medium term, and a long term, and these are the different sources. These are the sources from where they can raise their funds and they meet their requirement of a finance. Okay, so this is the end of the day. So the first question, the summary, what we have done here. So see, now go through here. See, first thing, the business finance, the source of business finance. The common meaning of the business finance is the money required for carrying out the business activities is called a business finance. But according to B.O. Wheeler definition, finance is that business activity which is concerned with the acquisition and conservation of capital funds in meeting the financial needs and overall objectives of a business enterprise. Now, here's some of the features of a business finance. Is the finance is the lifeblood of modern business, and the finance involves the estimation of funds needed, the source of funds and investment of finance, both the fixed capital and working capital, and the finance required differ from business to business. B2B means a business to business, and TP to TP means a one time period to another time period. The finance is the foundation of various activities. Here see some of the business activities like purchasing, and the manufacturing means the production, and the marketing. These are some activities which needed finance. So that is the base of various business activities, and the activities are purchasing, production, and marketing, and the sufficient finance. Sufficient finance is very much important. Okay, dear. Now this was the first one. Now the second one is the sources of business finance. Now I have already explained that there is the sole trading concern, sole proprietorship, and a partnership firm. If they need money, they first of all they invest their own money, then go with they goes with their friends, relatives, and the commercial bank. But in case of companies, so companies borrow funds in 3 ways: for the short term duration, medium term duration, and a long term duration. Okay, so for today this is enough. Okay, goodbye, Jai Hind, dear student, and will meet me in the class for the next lecture. Thank you.